to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! The handball shot, off the post, score!
First try kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
in, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the broadcast booth here from Adelaide Arena here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, home of the Mount St. Charles Mounties. Today, we're due for some more Mount St. Charles Youth Academy Hockey League going on here. The RI St. M's will take on the CP Dynamo in today's U14 matchup. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Heachu, joined by Alden Darras, my camera op here today. We are all set and ready to go as both teams get set at center ice, and we are underway here from Mount St. Charles Academy. Taking it right away off the rip was Brody Berard, and it's dumped into the Dynamo zone. Saints trying to establish offense early on the near side boards in the far corner, or near corner in this case. Right now, Catalo trying to get on top of it, but it's taken away this time by the defenseman Bridges, trying to take a shot already on the man in net tonight. And in net tonight for the St. M's is Carson Mertz, and in net for the Dynamo is Sherman. And sending it behind his back over there, number 12, and that's Matthew Crayer. Crayer has Jamie Glantz trying to chase that puck down. Dynamo trying to maneuver into neutral ground. And Britton trying to dump the puck back into his side of the offensive zone. And Britton's going to pass it across all the way over to Dylan Dean. Dean with a nice redirect. Keeps the puck pressed against the board as the defensemen chase him down. A nice feed, trying to feed it right into the slot to Bent. And going back to the near side corner. Back to Dean, who rips one. Puck deflects off of the goaltender. Sherman with a great save. And they dodge a bullet there early on. CP Dynamo dumps this one into the zone as they try and get something set up. Ooh, a shot already coughed off the rebound. 2 shots on the tender. And back to center. LaPlante shepherds it. Feeds it over to his man. And now it's dumped back in by the St. M's, who will get themselves a line change. And bringing it back in. Across neutral ground, LaPlante's going to have to retreat. And now Kinsler and Potter to chase the puck down. Potter has the puck pressed up against the boards. Gets some help from Kinsler. And Potter going to have to retreat back after this one. And at the point, LaPlante bouncing right off of Mertz's pads. Another great save. And the St. M's will take this back to the neutral zone. Already just a few minutes in. And still a couple of shots for each. Kinsler over the far side now to Britton. And dumped back in. St. M's will get some new skates out on the ice. Right in front of the away bench, Berard. Berard feeding across ice. And a good chance and a shot. And a save. A hard wrister coming from the stick of number 19. And still trying to get that jersey number there. And today's game is brought to you in part by Stanley Tree, employee owned and operated. Visit StanleyTree.com for more info. And by Hampton Sports Center, Connecticut's Hockey Pro Shop. Back into the action now as the St. M's try and hold defensively. And a far side pass from Moraine, the defender. And now trying to feed it to Ovid. It's dumped into the zone as it deflects off his stick. Dumped back around the near side boards. And ripped across back to center ice. Murnane on top of it again. Has a lot of pressure from the St. M's. And Berard at the top of the blue line will bring it back in. Skating behind the net. And a hard body check into the boards. And we're going to get ourselves a whistle to stop play. Might be a delayed penalty. And it's going to send a man to the box here. It's number 19, Soberin, head into the box for 2 minutes. We're going to find out what that penalty is. So the Saints going to have to play without a man, and CP Dynamo will be on the power play for the first time. And they're going to call that a roughing. So 2 minutes for roughing for Sabourin. And a feed. Shot deflected by the defenders, and the Saints, they're going to just shepherd this back into the neutral zone. Prayer dumps it in. And the Dynamo going to get set up for another attack. Ooh, a hard check right in front of the home bench. Trying to flip it back in. The puck stays onside for the Dynamo. Leonard was the one to keep it in play. And at the top, they'll be taken in by Adams and dumped back in. Saints quickly skate back to the bench to get some lines switched out. Coming back to neutral. And a hard slip, a lot of snow in front of that home bench. Lost his footing. Moran sends it across ice. And dumped forward by Tulloch. Tulloch couldn't dump it in, and the Saints have a chance on the shorthanded try. Taking a shot high, and it's going to go over the top right into that protective netting. Jamie Glantz put a little too much mustard on that one as it went flying into the netting. 11:24 to go in the first period of action. 52 seconds left on the Saints' on penalty kill. And the shot deflected away by Sherman. On the save, Tulloch backhanding pass over to Olsen. Olsen slammed into the boards by Kinsler. But the Dynamo keep it in play. The shot, it's a lazy one, a little wide to the right. They'll try and redirect and go again. The pass is going to be taken away now by Jamie Glantz. And Glantz, ooh, a hard shot that goes wide to the left. Under 25 seconds to go in the power play. And the Dynamo don't really have much to show for it so far. They don't have a single shot on net as of this moment. They've had shot attempts, just none on net. This one deflected off the glass. A perfect chance for Olsen, but a great defense by Brock Potter. And now Adams to bring it back up. Chance Adams, 2-on-1. It's dumped away from him. LaPlante going to meet it on the near side. Dean trying to nearly throw his body into the boards. Berard has him. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. That shot deflecting off of Sherman's pads. Berard sends it back to neutral ice. Dylan Dean to bring it in. Ooh, and got some handling on it, and a great save coming from Sherman. Saints get back in the shot category after they were trailing by just a bit. And 10-12 to go in period number one. And a great finish last night for the U15 team. They managed to defeat the Florida Alliance by a final score of 9-2. It was an offensive onslaught. That shot over the top of the net. Of course, you'll be able to hear my dulcet tones for the rest of the afternoon for I believe it's the 16 and the 18. And both U15 games that were supposed to take place today and tomorrow have been canceled. So it'll just be the next two games going until about 4 o'clock here on Fans Only Sports Network. So don't forget to check out more of our live stream sports. Go to fansonlysports.com. Hockey season about to begin in the state of Rhode Island for high school. Biggest time of the year for us, so don't miss out on the action. Go to fansonlysports.com and buy your single game or season live stream passes. Face-off taken away by the Dynamo. Hernandez on top of it. He really used the speed to get ahead. Puck being taken away from Christian Hernandez. And Ciardello going to get in there to help him out. Now bringing it up ice is Dito. And back at center. That's going to be Agonov. And the shot, ooh, deflected off of Sherman. And Nikita Agafonov, was the one to bring the puck back in. And he's on the third line for this Saints unit. Right away trying to get a shot off was Caleb Rumpf. And as the Saints took away the face-off, they'll bring it right back to that circle and go again. Shot was just a little too high to make a competitive play out of it. They win the face-off again, and it's knocked away. Kinsler going to use the glass to his advantage to dump it back into the offensive zone, and the Dynamo find it at neutral ice. Pass over to Leonard as he brings it in. Ooh, a body check into the glass, but it stays in their offensive territory for the Dynamo. On the near side boards, a shot taken there, and Mertz to knock it away. Ooh, a hard check into the boards there. Kinsler sends it down ice, and it's just going to come right back into the Saints side of things for icing. And a great forecheck we're seeing each time from this Saints team. Even a good back check coming from the Dynamo. They're just really doing a good job at bringing it back down ice. Glance with a wide open lane, and deflected away. Sherman did not blink, did not bat an eye, and made another great save once again for the Dynamo. And the pass back to center, intercepted this time by Callahan. Gavin Callahan dumps it around the back. And Berard takes the shot, bouncing off of Sherman's pads again. And this one, a great chance coming for the Dynamo, and a great job of using the stick there by Wyatt Britton. Without him standing there with that poke check, this team could be facing a 1-0 deficit. Very fortunate to have Britton on top of that. Sending it over to the near side to Callahan. Callahan with a good feed over to Catallo. And this one dropped in. Potter bringing it back around. Catallo trying to get after it. Traps it against the boards. And now it's 2-on-2 over there. Adams with a great movement and bounce off of Sherman. The rebound bounced off the back of the boards. And now it goes back to the point for Berard. Berard over to the far side to Callahan. Callahan bouncing off the defender. Berard, wide open lane in the slot. And a great save from Sherman once again to stop the play with 7:16 to go in period number 1. Already a lot of shots taken by both sides. Dynamo had a hot start. They've slowed down just a bit. As you can see, 11-5 is the shot differential. And face off. Saints capture and keep it in the zone. And this one, they're going to have to get back onside. Nicoletta sending it back in for Bentz. Bentz, bounce off the pads of Sherman on the rebound. And another great save again by Sherman. As Will Bent tried to go 2 for 2, couldn't execute, or couldn't finish, I should say, on the second shot. Sherman just making some unbelievable saves as the Saints are bringing a ton of pressure in this first period of play. Britton at the point. The shot right at Sherman deflected off his shin pads. And the Dynamo struggling to generate any offense in these last few sequences, as the St. M's have been doing an excellent job of keeping the pressure up. Leonard, though, getting tangled up. We might have a call. There's no hand in the air, so no penalty to come. Might have thought there might have been some hooking there, but the referees see otherwise. Dylan Dean with the pass up to Will Bent. Bent taking it across the blue line as it's poke checked away by the defense. And the pass taken in by Moran. And Moran lost his footing on the ice, and it's dumped back in this time by Tulloch. Olsen trying to get on top. Hernandez gets it for the Saints, and a little wide of a pass over to Brock Potter. Now Dylan Dean. Dean feeding it to his man, Ryder Kinsler. And stopped down at center by Hernandez, who's getting checked around a whole bunch. A lot of poke checks happening here as Fearman comes up with it. But Christian Hernandez putting all that pressure on him. Kinsler stops it right in front. The shot deflected by the defense. And now the Dynamo will try again. Bridges trying to use some maneuvering, and the defense clamps down. We're seeing a lot of chances being taken here by the Dynamo. They just can't gain the separation. As the back check by the Saints has just been really strong all game long, at least in the start of this one. Dumped in And the Saints will change skaters on the ice. And kept on the near side boards. Saints bring it up in front of the visiting bench. Saborn and Romp. Saborn has it, giving it to the top, over to Callahan, and the shot saved again by Sherman. With 4:54 left to go in the first period of action. And Saints looked like a draw on that faceoff. A hard shot coming from Callahan again over the top of the net. And Berard finds it as another one. This one deflected away by the defense. And the Dynamo can't seem to find any separation with the puck and get it back to neutral ice. The Plant, mishandled the puck as he's checked into the boards. He kicks it away, Romp after it. He has it, and he'll send it back over to Callahan. Callahan tried to dump it back to him, and now a chance coming as Lindaker, couldn't seem to find the zone there. And we can just see the Saints are just totally collapsing on the puck. They're playing the puck more so than the players. And that's the way you should be playing. As you can see, more shots on net as a result. That one trying to gain some separation on that shot, and it's knocked down by Sherman. Leonard, taking a shot finally at Mertz, and it's knocked away. Back at center. They'll retreat after it. Sending it behind his back, Tulloch tries to feed LaPlante. And Tulloch on the far side, sending it back up to neutral ice. That was Vito. On the near side, it's sent behind the back. And both teams kind of creating a scrum pile in that corner. It's eventually brought out by Catallo. Anthony Catallo feeding it with a good chance on the backhanded shot by Jamie Glantz. It's a little wide. But they're making do with their opportunities here. A chance for Cryer. Feeding it right in, finds the back of the net for the Saints. Anthony Catallo comes in. And the Saints find themselves up 1-0. So the Saints lead early with 2:52 left to go in period number 1. Saints take an early 1-0 lead. And Saints already trying to get their second goal of the game up as they continue to bring on the pressure with just 2.5 to go. And don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. So assisted by Jamie Glantz and Matt Crayer, and getting the goal was Anthony Catallo. So just about to hit under 2 minutes in the first period of action. Apologies, our clock a little bit behind the game clock. The Saints continue to add on that pressure. And like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, please don't go anywhere because I believe we're going to just go right from this first period action right into the second period with no intermission. That's due to tell in time. We'll see what happens here. But as of right now, Stay tuned. We will probably jump right into the second period of action after the conclusion of the first. And trying to redirect, a great chance knocked off of the goaltender as Nick Ciardello and back on the far side of the ice in the Saints side of things. The Dynamo trying to find a way back in the effort as they sent a crosser, and that was a good chance, but Haskis wasn't there to make the play. Pass a little too high velocity for him to maintain. And 1 minute remaining here in period number one. Your score 1-0 as the St. M's lead in the early moments of this matchup. Romp feeding it forward over, and the shot deflected away and knocked out of play. And that'll stop the clock with 45 seconds to go, so we'll let ours catch up. Dynamo come away with the face-off, and the pass up to the left winger, Leonard. Leonard feeding it across, a little wide for Bridges, who's on the right side. Well, Leonard will try and recover it. However, he didn't get enough help from his teammate there and dumped away in front of the bench. And Nicoletta trying to feed it up back to center. He'll get it to the winger, and now it's passed over to number 19. And clock ticking away here as the puck's trapped in front of the near side boards. Nicoletta taking a hard shot, goes wide to the left. And they'll get one more chance to try and get one off, and they won't be able to do so. So that concludes the first period of action here from Adelard Arena. Your score 1-0 as the St. M's lead the CP Dynamo through one period of action. Goal scored by, that's Anthony Catalo, number 22, assisted by Matt Crayer and Jamie Glantz to kick off things for the St. M's. So we'll take ourselves a quick break here while they talk things over on each side, and we'll flip sides for the start of the second period right here on Fans Only Sports Network. In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dumps in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
And welcome back for the start of the second period from Adelard Arena. Your score 1-0 as the Saints lead the Dynamo in the early minutes of this matchup. And we are underway from the second period. And puck sent across the blue line and dumped in. Potter trying to chase it down as we have flipped sides of the ice. And puck sent back to center. Dumped back to the middle and now sent into the zone. And right in front of the bench, the away bench that is, Tulloch with the dump as Mertz watches the puck go behind the net. Now, Saints will bring it back up into the neutral zone as it was shepherded by Glantz. Berard over to Callahan, and now the pass over to Catalo. Catalo ripping one right at Sherman, and it goes right into that protective netting and out of play. And as the puck hits the ice, this one, another hard shot, goes out of play once again. Let's give you the word from today's game sponsors. Today's game's brought to you in part by Stanley Tree, employee-owned and operated. Visit StanleyTree.com for more information. And then by Hampton Sports Center, Connecticut's #1 hockey pro shop. Back into the action. The Dynamo having trouble removing the puck from their defensive zone. And right in front for Sherman. He's going to make a terrific save as the St. M's continue to add this pressure on. We're already seeing a 14-shot differential as the Saints lead it. 21 shots on net to their 7 that they've allowed on their net. So another fantastic performance from the St. M's team. CP Dynamo really going to have to step it up. We're seeing some good attacks, just not enough to really write home about as Dean sends a backhander shot that's saved by Sherman and sent around the backside. And now dumped forward, brought down by Britton. And Dito trying to get all over it, and Adams is going to end up finding a hold of this puck. And sent right at the M's. And trapped down at the point. Trying to skate around. He can't really find separation. Dito backhands this one. It bounces off the glass and finds a Saint defender. And kicked away. Nicoletta using the glass again, but this puck's going to end up coming back onto the Saints side of things as we get an icing call. 14:09 to go in period number 1. Let's check out tomorrow's games that are up next here on Fans Only Sports Network. U14, U16, and U18 games all taking place right here on Fans Only Sports Network. And sent back to center. King trying to get on after it. Nearly could have been an icing call again. Potter trying to get a hold. Both sides are as Hernandez comes away with it, sending over to Ciardello. And sent around the backside of the boards. And Callahan trying to get ahead. Hernandez, or excuse me, Agafonov trying to get all over it, and it's taken away by the Dynamo. And on the near side, puck can't seem to find a way out as Lindacher was struggling to do anything with that possession. And now King on top of it for the Dynamo as the Saints get themselves a line change. Potter stopping the puck with the skates, and Kinsler, he's going to send it back to the neutral ice and trying to get it dumped in. However, one of his own players was there, Bridges, with a hard wrister. That's the first shot we've seen him take at Mertz all period as he makes a glove save, and that'll stop the clock at 13 even. And the Dynamo wrap it around the boards. Probably should have kept it to the back as more of their offensive players were there. And this one dumped in again. This time by Tulloch. Olsen was nearly all over it. And now skating through the neutral zone. And on the near side, chance for Callahan at the point. Brings it up. Over to the circle, and Sherman knocking it away with his stick. And now another chance for Callahan. A shot deflected away with the shin pads this time as it goes to the far side. Trying to get all over it now is Joe Gannon. Gannon, he's going to skate off the ice and head to the bench as we get a couple new skaters. Romp also getting out, and icing going to be the call. So now we'll rotate back to the Dynamo side for that icing call. And Crayer winning the face-off, sends it back to the point, over to Nicoletta. And the shot taken at Sherman, knocked away behind his net, and stopped in the neutral zone. A lot of snow still in front of that Saints bench as it's dumped in by Britton. Glance trying to chase this one down and kicked away by Nicoletta. Nicoletta traps it down at the blue line, keeping it there for Crayer. Crayer and crew. Glance now trying to bring it into the slot, and great job with the poke checks from the defense. as this one's being brought up now by Ovid. And puck scampering away there. Catallo, sorry. Excuse me, Catallo. Nicoletta over the far side this time. And they'll send it down into the zone as they'll head to the bench. Lindocker bringing it up for the Dynamo now. And that puck deflected away. His chance was taken. And Dylan Dean couldn't seem to hold that very well. But Dean, left winger, bringing it around his back. And wow, trying to set up Will Bent. And another glove save coming from Sherman, who's been playing excellent. This score could be a lot worse than what we've seen so far. Saints lead 1-0 with just about under 10 minutes to go in this second period. Dynamo have themselves a chance. They've been playing solid defense throughout. They've allowed a lot of shots on net, however, and they need to get some more shots of their own on net. Chance for Dylan Dean, takes the shot, bounces right off of Sherman's face mask, and the puck's still in play for the offense. Dean over to Potter. Great no-look there as it's sent over to Chance Adams. Adams trying to get it to Bent behind the net. Bent to Adams. Adams trapping the puck up against the board as several defenders are all over him. As that was Fearman who's taking it away now in front of the Saints bench. And he's just going to dump this in, trying to skate ahead using his speed. And he'll get on top of that puck. But Dynamo had to get themselves a line change going. So not a lot of help for him in his offensive zone. Bridges, though, gets a hold of it. A shot off Mertz. Puck still in play as he didn't get to trap it in time with his chest. And flip back into the neutral zone. Getting tripped up, and we got a delayed penalty coming, and there it is. This one's going to go against the Dynamo, likely for hooking. So the Saints will get themselves their first power play of the game. And that is most certainly a hook, as they'll take the penalty. And now the first power play of the game for the Saints. We haven't had many penalties. And that's number 10, Moraine, the defender who got called for the hooking. Crayer at the blue line. The shot! Glove saved by Sherman. Made the great extension. And they'll go back to the face-off circle. Callahan back to Crayer at the point. And Crayer, puck deflected away, but the Saints keep it trapped in the zone. Over the far side, went through the wickets of Callahan, and that we might have they get a little tangled up there, and the defense manages to clear the puck through the neutral zone. And the Dynamo get fresh skates out. Under a minute and 30 left in the penalty, as the Saints try again. Trying to flip it in front of the net. It's deflected away. Saved again by Sherman. Another one coming down, and Sherman's going to get the glove on top of it in time to trap it down. As that was Gavin Callahan once again to deliver a very definitive wrister. And now 8:51 and 11:11 to go. 1:11 to go in the penalty. Puck hits the floor and nearly cleared, but trapped down up against the boards by Bent. Bent over to Dean. Back to Bent. Bent this time down to Glantz. Glantz mishandling the puck, and the defender comes away with it. Dylan Dean's going to have to bail him out right now as he brings it back through the neutral zone. Dylan Dean maneuvering around back to center, and the puck still remaining in play as he delivers another shot on net. Bent at the top, bringing it down to Glantz. Glantz back to Bent, back to Glantz, back to Bent. Another one, this time over to Adams. Dean with the shot, knocked away by Sherman off the shin pads, and still in play, eventually cleared, but cleared a little too hard as we got an icing call. So Dynamo playing some good penalty kill With 28 seconds left, and they'll have a face-off on their side of the ice. And Bent takes it away for the Saints. Dean back to Bent. Bent to Glantz. Glantz looking for the opening. Gets into the middle for Adams. It's knocked down as there's defenders in front. Glantz bringing it back around. 10 seconds to go. Bent rips one, hits the boards. And another one coming in from Dean. This one knocked away as the penalty is just seconds from expiring. And there it is. Moran coming back out on the ice. We're back to full strength. The Dynamo have themselves a chance here. Good pass, but a little wide of the net as he'll wrap back around, trying to take one. And the defense making the key stop. Puck back at center. A poke check, but taken away once again by Chance Adams. Adams over to Dylan Dean. Dean with the shot, knocked down by Sherman again with the pads. Still in play. This puck dumped all the way back to the far side of things, and icing. Going to bring the puck back to the Dynamo side once again. Using a lot of breath on those last few sequences, ladies and gentlemen, as a lot of movement from the Saints. We're seeing just some good precision of passing, and once they enter that offensive zone, you can just see how well coached they are in every way, shape, and form of the game. Callahan at the point, sends it through to the slot, and Sherman loves that one up down, and stopping play with 7:04 left to go in period number 2. Dynamo still trail 1-0 as we are almost done through 2 periods of action. Saints having a very strong performance as they lead 1-0 once again. This puck gets bounced easily right in front of Gavin Callahan and brought back to center. Christian Hernandez tangled up a little bit, but they'll feed Agafonov right in front, and Sherman catches this one right in the stomach. We haven't seen much from Nikita Agafonov. When he's on the ice, he's got some good handling of that puck, and he delivers a great wrister right off the one-timer. And the Dynamo come away with the face-off, wrapped around the boards. And it's back at center. A chance coming as the Dynamo take it across. Backhanded shot knocked off of Mertz. And Saints find a way to come away with it again. Crayer bringing it back into his offensive zone, being poke-checked a whole lot there by Tulloch. Crayer using the back of his stick to play keep away, and Tulloch comes away with it. Trying to get the pass off. Another shot knocked away by Catalo. And back at the point, another one bouncing off the defender. And Marcion trying to get a hold of it as it's wrapped around Leonard all over it now. And going back into the Saints side of the ice. This puck's going to be rifled and eventually caught and brought down. And the attack continues as Moran sends it around, and this one's going to go all the way into the Dynamo side of the ice. Another icing call with 5:37 left to go in period number 2. Be sure to tune in, ladies and gentlemen, to the remaining Youth Academy Hockey League games going on today. The U16 and U18 games going on at 12 and 2 right here on Fans Only Sports. Shot taken right at Mertz. No chance off the rebound, however, as the Saints stop the Dynamo attack dead in its tracks. Sent over to Potter. Potter feeding to Rompf at neutral, and Rompf will dump this one in. And knocked down by Sherman as the puck still has a chance to find the crease. And the shot from the point. Sherman again with another great stop as Kinsler and the crew keep raining down on Sherman. Sherman's made so many saves. As a result, 37 shots have been taken on him. And we're not even done 2 periods of action. He's only allowed 1 goal to his credit. Kinsler, he's going to have to retreat back across that blue line, and so will the rest of the offense. Potter dumping it up. And a good feed behind the back, a chance and a shot, a little wide as Chance Adams got in on the fun. And they'll try again. Bent, Dean, nobody able to get the extension. As the puck is taken away there by Dito. And Dylan Dean can't find the extension as he's getting tangled up with his stick. Another shot, knocking off the defenders. Bridges on top of it for the Dynamo. He's trapping it against the boards. A lot of Saints trying to get all over it, and Bridges. Either side can find a way to make this puck move. A lot of shaving, a lot of snow up against those boards. Not really allowing a lot of movement. Dylan Dean finally coming up with it for the Saints. Over to Berard. Berard rifling one as it bounces off of Sherman's pads and behind the net. Another chance as Bent tries to secure it, and Sherman stops it again. Well, Bent knocked right to the floor by the Dynamo defense. And that leaves us with just 3:40 to go. And the face-off. St. M's come up with it. And sending the puck along the backside. And dumped away. And it's going to stay fair. No icing. And a little hesitation there from the offense. And they're just struggling to maintain possession of this puck. That was Haskis, who just couldn't seem to really play aggressive, as another shot's taken on Sherman right here. Puck sent away by Mernan. Now Ciardello trapping that puck up against the board. He needs some help from his teammate, but he's got it himself. Chance right in front. Chance right in front as Hernandez sends that one right into the netting and out of play. 2:50 left to go. And here comes the face-off. And a hard shot taken by Catallo right away at Sherman. Another one by Glance. They just can't stop this offense. And another big save in the chest again by Sherman. He's just taken so many shots. We've seen 43, 42 have not gone in. You have to give this man a lot of credit. He's been under duress all morning long. Another chance coming. Catallo, it's knocked down as he went wide on the 180 spin. Trying to use the body momentum to his advantage. Olsen clears it back to center. And the Dynamo flip it into the zone. Nicoletta getting shoved around a whole bunch. And Crayer coming up with it now. Catallo bringing it back into his offensive zone. Back to the top. And the shot knocked away. Crayer sends it around. And flipped over to Olsen. Olsen trying to feed Linker. And this one knocked away. Excuse me, that was Lindaker. Apologies on the mispronunciation there. Nicoletta flipping it over back to center to Glance. And Glance intercepted as Lindaker's hit hard, checked right onto the floor. And whistle called to stop play. Looks like we might get ourselves a delayed penalty potentially. Not sure. Nope. Does not appear so. Might have been an offsides. And it will be. And back in play. Sabrin to bring it up. Sabrin feeding it right in front, and Sherman's just going to glove this one down to the floor immediately as that puck was in serious danger of potentially crossing that crease. as Siborin passed it over to Romph. And Siborin will take the face-off. Dynamo come away with the face-off win. And that pass a little too far behind him as he trips, as he slips and falls to the floor. Misjudged his footing was Dito. And we have 1 minute to go until we hit the intermission break. Score still 1-0. Dynamo trying to even the odds as Dito trying to chase it down. Potter didn't realize he was that hot in his tracks as he sent it behind his back and it was blocked. Now Romph trying to clear the puck to center, and the Saints will do that. Siborin being pushed around a whole bunch. He's trying to use his body to his advantage. And 30 seconds left now as the Saints trying to get one last gasp of an offensive opportunity before we hit the break. Bounced off as Hernandez took another shot. Kinsler sending one down to Romph. Romph back over to Kinsler at the top of the point. Back down. And another one deflected in the air in front of Sherman. Romph delivers another shot deflected away. Not much time left. And the puck sent behind the net over there. And that will conclude 2 periods of action. 46 shots on net for the Saints to the 13 of the CP Dynamo. Through 2 periods, your score sits at 1-0. Saints have been playing excellent all game long, and we're still waiting for a spark from this CP Dynamo unit. And we'll take ourselves a commercial break, and we'll be back for the start of the 3rd and final period in this one, right here on Fans Only Sports. And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In Myers, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Try to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In Myers, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Try to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In Myers, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Try to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In Myers, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Try to kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First right kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick,
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of the third period. We are back and underway from Adelard Arena here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, at Mount St. Charles Academy, as the Saints will bring this back through center. Glance trying to rip one immediately off the wrist and deflected down by the defender right in front. Haskis trying to feed right into the slot. We're starting to see some good development now from the Dynamo. They only trail in this one 1-0. Very manageable score to come back from, but we'll see if they can do so. Berard at the top, deflected off of Sherman's pads. About to hit shot number 50. Glance trying to bring it back in. And Berard trying to tap the stick down, and Haskis using the backhand of the stick to bring it in front, and Mertz. Tough save, as that was a nice little drag with the stick, trying to just drop it into the net. And Mertz making himself a great save. Carson Mertz, the 5'10", 160-pound goalie. Lefty, in fact, just like yours truly here. And out of Coventry, Rhode Island. Always got to show love to those lefties. There's not a lot of you out there. Now sent along the boards. Dylan Dean trapping it just before the blue line. Dean to the near side to Nicoletta. And, bounced off the helmet, it looked like, of Olsen. And Britton to dump it into the zone for the Saints. Dynamo come up with it. Adams couldn't seem to trap it down. And LaPlante, that was a little dangerous pass as Sherman's going to have to put the glove over it and stop play with 14:48 to go in the third period. Dynamo had plenty of time to find themselves back in the game, but they can't let it be squandered, as we've already been through 2 periods as they've been held scoreless. And flipped around to the other side, to the far. And back through neutral, and putting the hand up is Mertz. We all know that signal. Icing as it'll come back into the Dynamo side. And we'll step aside for a word from one of today's game sponsors.
Want to close your home purchase or refinance faster? Contact me, David Delbonis, at 401-487-7379, President Precision Home Lending. Trust the experts and we'll make your loan experience amazing.
And we're back into the action. This one's dumped in and knocked off of the backboard. And still in play. Puck trapped. Nobody can really seem to find an opening, and finally the Saints will tip it out as Peter Nicoletta will knock it free. And he'll take it back behind the net. And, great defensive stop there from Marcion. He didn't seem to find someone, though, on that left side. Fortunate enough for the Saints. Murnane dumping it in. And flip back to neutral ice. Dito coming up with it for the Dynamo. Adams trying to get on top of it as Tulloch flips it around to Dito. Dito, a little hesitation as the Saints are all over it once again. And Lindacker sends it away. Britton for the Saints now as the Saints come away with the possession. Hernandez somehow finds that as he turned around. Didn't seem to know where the puck was. And Potter whiffs on the dump, on the forecheck dump. And now they'll skate in. A chance and a shot blocked away as Nick Ciardello flipped it off to the far side, or near side in this case. Another shot taken, a little wide of the net as this time Nikita Agafonov was getting in on the fun. A chance for Kinsler, but he whiffs on the pass. And it ended up going back into neutral ice. They had to get back on side. Sent to the near side and flipped over by Haskis. Still onside. Lindacker taking a chance and crossed wide. LaPlante, this one bounces off the post. And they'll get another chance. LaPlante off the point for Haskis. They're trying to get some type of deflection. Another shot. 2 more taken. As the Dynamo just still can't really find that separation and take some nice shots on the Saints defense. Both sides get a line change now. It's about to hit 12 minutes to go in period number 3. Saints lead 1-0. Olsen whiffed on the pass, couldn't seem to bring it down cleanly, and Berard flipping it behind his back to Christian Hernandez. This puck sailing into the air and brought back down to the floor by LaPlante. And now Olsen back to him. LaPlante flips it forward. LaPlante giving it to Olsen. Olsen dumps it in off the Shepherd, and here comes the forecheck. Behind him, it's taken behind the net by Berard. Rumpf will get a hold of it and flip back over to Berard, and the dump in. Rumpf using the boards to his advantage, and a little bit of miscommunication there. Excuse me. Shearman, the intended target. It was too far behind his back. A chance and a shot, and a glove save from Sherman. Hard rip shot from Gavin Callahan. And the play will be stopped with 11:09 Let's give you the word from today's game sponsors. Today's game is brought to you in part by Stanley Tree, employee-owned and operated. Visit StanleyTree.com for more information. And by Hampton Sports Center, Connecticut's hockey pro shop. And we're back into the action. And puck moving across the floor here as it's taken up by Leonard. And flip back, or Lindacker, excuse me. Flip behind the line. Murnane off to the far side, back to center as it was intended for Marcion. But great defense. Glance bringing it up here for the Saints, trying to use a whole lot of deception off the rebound. And two big stops again from Sherman, as that was the 50th shot on net for the Saints. We saw, I believe it was around 62 or 64 last night for the U15 team. And that goaltender both goaltenders allowed combined 9 goals in the matchup. And so far, off of 50 shots, Sherman is playing unbelievable as he's kept it to a 1-0 lead. Crayer back to Nicoletta at the point. Kind of lazily lets this one slide down the ice, and it's dumped away again. And going back into their side of things once again as icing is the call on the floor. Another up next reminder here on Fans Only Sports Network. We got some more games here today at 12 and 2, but then tomorrow you got the U14 team playing at 9 a.m., the U16 team playing at 11 a.m., and then the U18 team playing tomorrow at 1 p.m. That's all right here. More Mount St. Charles Youth Academy hockey right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Puck going behind the net for the Saints as it's flipped up to Kinsler. Kinsler using the boards to wrap it around for Glance. Tulloch getting it away as it's taken over by Lindacker and flipped back behind Glance. Trying to use the skates to come up with it as well as the stick. And Crayer going to have to chase it down along with Kinsler and sent back in by Catallo and eventually cleared at center and Britton touched it last, and offside's going to be the call there as Glance came across the blue line. 9:45 to go. The score still 1-0. And they'll have the face-off back at center. And Adams trying to get on after it immediately. This puck sent into the Saints side of the ice. Potter spinning away with it, kicking it away this time. Now it's being taken up by Bent. Will Bent flipping it around defenders, trying to get around them as well. And off it, kind of skating away from it. Didn't really seem to be helping his own man, and Berard takes it away for the Saints. And a quick interception taken away by King, but that one's shut down. And this puck dumped in. LaPlante going to have to chase it down for the Dynamo, but you won't have to chase it far. Icing is the call. And the puck hits the floor once again. Sent around the back. And the shot high over the top of the net. That was taken by Dito and flipped away over to Dylan Dean of the Saints. Vance Adams to bring it in. Adams over to Will Bent. Will Bent with some nice stick maneuvering right under the shin pads of Sherman. And the St. M's find themselves on the board yet again as the score now hits 2-0. Just 8:45 to go. They finally break the scoreless second period of action as we went through one up 1-0 and then 2 1-0. Now score at 2-0. And that was number 2, Will Bent, with the goal for the St. M's. And Chance Adams in on the assist. and a whistle to stop play with 8:15 to go. So both goals coming from number 22 Anthony Catallo and number 2 Will Bent in this matchup. Both players not from the state of Rhode Island. Catallo, 5'8", 145 pounds, also a lefty out of Wading River, New York. And then Will Bent, 5'10", 155 pounder out of Dover, Mass. Both these kids have been playing unbelievable today, and we've seen them play unbelievable games throughout the season as they continue to add to this Saints lead. Puck flipped back over to center, tipped away by Kinsler. Kinsler across the blue line. Kinsler rips one. Oh, a little too high as he went over the top of the net into the glass. The Plant somehow lost the puck as Ciardello comes up with it. A chance for Britton. Britton rips one, and Sherman another big glove save at 7:47 to go. And of course, December is upon us. And a big happy holidays and Merry Christmas as we enter that holiday season. And what a way to give a gift than to go ahead and check out the streaming passes that we have here on Fans Only Sports Network. Hockey season upon us. And if you enjoy these Mount Youth Academy League hockey games, I'm sure you'll love the rivalries that we've got going on in the state of Rhode Island for high school hockey. If you want to give a great gift for a big sports fan, go to fansonlysports.com and purchase your single season or full season streaming passes right here on Fans Only Sports Network. And that's fansonlysports.com, sports with a Z at the end. Dumped around the backboards to the near side, taken through center, and brought back the other way as Gannon and crew were trying to skate down ice. Rompf having some trouble maintaining possession as the Dynamo flip it back the other way. Berard sees the hand of Mertz up, but they're going to call it no icing, so the play will continue. Back through center, flipped along the back, this time over to Crayer. Crayer sends it behind his back. A great chance to set up another score. Great maneuvering. Shot knocked down by Sherman as Glantz took one. And on the near side, Olsen for the Dynamo. Brings it nearly in front of the net. There's a dangerous possession. And flip back up to him at center. And Marcion and crew trying to do something with this one. A great stop on the pass. And as Crayer's going to bring it up. Crayer hitting the protective glass there, and Catallo trying to get after it. And body check into the boards as Glantz has it again. Over to Berard. Berard on the right side. Ooh, that one nearly snuck through the wickets of Sherman for a potential third goal of the evening, or the morning, I should say. 45 minutes from now, we will have our second game of the trio of games right here from Adelard Arena, as the U16 teams will head out and play here. And of course, they'll be at 12 p.m. and then at 2 p.m. we've got the U18 team taking on its key matchup. And of course, that will be right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Callahan taking it to the slot, and the puck going to be knocked away back to center ice. Over the near side to Nicoletta, and intercepted, dumped in by Murnane, and Mertz able to just knock that one away. Flip behind the back of the net. Lindacher trying to field, trying to send it to Haskus, and sent over to Glantz as the Saints came up with the puck. Glantz gonna rip one right there. It bounced off the post, and somehow Sherman found the puck and fell on top of it. Glantz thought he had himself a third goal on the day for his unit, but unable to find the crease. And Dynamo very fortunate there. Last night we had 3 times that the puck hit the post. Today, that was the first one, but wow, that was a really close shot, ladies and gentlemen, to say the least. Another chance, this one wide to the right of the net. And Adams, Kinsler was checked hard in the boards there. by Dito. Or, excuse me, that was Fearman. Fearman with a hard check, and the Saints are going to have to retreat back to center to clear as Kinsler couldn't really seem to hold on to it. Britton maneuvering around the ice a lot as Adams seemed to mishandle the puck, but it's going to go as a dump in, so no icing. The forecheck coming on hard for the Saints. And a good chance here as it's taken away by Potter, but knocked away. The back check doing a good job at flipping the puck back the other way. And both players seem to lose sight of the puck, and I don't know what was going on there for Dito. The puck was right in the slot, perfect positioning for him to take the shot. But he intended to, in that case, just not take the chance. That's a missed opportunity there for the Dynamo. Probably one of the most perfect opportunities we've seen for a one-timer. And they let that one slip away. Dylan Dean trying to wrap around in front, trying to use the backhand, and Sherman fell right on top of it with his belly, and it looked like Dean on top of the goaltender. And now some shoving. And you can hear the bench screaming for him to get up. Not sure what the holdup is here. And of course, Dynamo a little upset about that because he's Dylan Dean's lying right on top of their man in the net, who I might add has been playing very well throughout this game. Has allowed 2 goals on 56 shots on net. Very impressive morning for him. Callahan dumps it in for the Saints again. Agafonov with a great pass over to Hernandez, who whiffed on it. Another shot deflected off the glove from him, and they'll keep it in play. Agafonov, and it's dumped back in by Callahan, trying to bring it around yet again, but the Dynamo defense on top of it. And Dito flipping it along the boards, and it's dumped into the zone by the Dynamo. Just about 3 minutes left in this one, and the Dynamo still have been held scoreless through 2 3/4 periods. And this could be Carson Mertz's shutout that he's been looking for, Coventry, Rhode Island native. Puck back at center for Lindacher. Lindacher brings it in, knocked off of Mertz's pads, and off the rebound again, and a third time he'll make the stop with 2:40 left. Dynamo need an offensive spark. Not much time left to go. They'll take the face-off, deflected away by Mertz on the shot on net. That's Lindacher, I believe, behind the net. And puck continues to not really seem to find a home in favor of the Dynamo, and the Saints will clear it back to center. Severin has the puck taken away by Bridges. Bridges trying to make haste as there's not much time remaining in this one. But the defense collapsing on top of him immediately. Leonard taking a shot, knocked away by Mertz, and taking another one. Mertz finally makes the save. And I'll stop play with 1:57 left to go in this third period. Dynamo have been applying some pressure, but it really hasn't been too much for the Saints to worry about. The Saints just need to hold on for just 1:57 and walk away with their shutout. And timeout called by the CP Dynamo. And we'll get one last word from today's game sponsors. Today's game is brought to you in part by Stanley Tree, employee owned and operated. Visit StanleyTree.com for more information. And then by Hampton Sports Center, Connecticut's #1 hockey pro shop. And both these teams, we've seen the Dynamo play competitive, But there's just been a little bit that's out of sync for them today. They just haven't been able to really coordinate in terms of getting into the zone. We've seen the Saints execute like a team should. Once you get into that zone, you volley the puck around, really try and look for that opening. But the Dynamo, they just really have just gone into the zone and just been taking shots left and right, but haven't really established any movement of the puck in their offensive territory. In order to be competitive in this game, you got to apply some deception. We haven't seen that today from them. 1:57 to go. Not much time remaining. Not much chances remaining. We'll see if they can execute or if the Saints will be able to shut them out. This one flipped back up, nearly cleared at center ice, and there it goes. Glantz going to take it through the neutral zone across his blue line. A good feed over there. Shot into the netting as that was Crayer. Put a little too much of a cannon on that one. And 1:47 left to go in regulation. And face-off taken away by Kinsler. Crayer dumps it around the back of the net. And fed up to Leonard. Leonard flips it all the way to the neutral zone, and the pass wasn't fed cleanly, and it's going to go out of play into the penalty boxes with 1:32 left. Saints come away with the face-off. Kinsler over to Callahan, who dumps it into the Dynamo's defensive zone. And that pass set all the way down and icing the call once again. 1:16 to go. And if you're enjoying game number one of our trio of games today here on Fans Only Sports Network, stay tuned as at noon, we will have the U16 game going, and then at 2 o'clock, we'll have the U18 game going on here on Fans Only Sports Network. For more hockey action and for more excitement this winter, go to fansonlysports.com and purchase your single game streaming passes or your full season streaming passes. That's Fans Only Sports with a Z at the end of sports.com. 1 minute to go in this matchup that is just moments from concluding. Fearman trying to make it something as that shot was deflected away off the shin pads of Mertz. And the Dynamo trying to use one last gasp of desperation as the puck goes back. A breakaway chance for Dylan Dean, and Sherman doesn't blink and knocks the puck away. Another chance right in front, but cleared back to center. Mertz has got his hand up, icing the call with 24 seconds to go. And the face-off as the Saints knock it away to draw, and it'll be dumped back in, icing the call. Saints played a very dominant performance once again in today's matchup. Been able to really shut down this offensive performance and secure a shutout for Carson Mertz. You got to give credit not just to Mertz, but that defense, who hasn't allowed many shots on net at all today. King with the shot. It's knocked behind Mertz and somehow maneuvers off to the left as the final seconds of this one tick away. The Saints will walk away with the W. Final score, 2-0. As the St. M's secure the shutout for Carson Mertz. And we'll walk away with the victory here in this U14 league game. Solemnly defeating the CP Dynamo. The Dynamo had themselves some decent plays drawn up. They could just not really seem to execute at the end of things. and it was just a great matchup throughout. At the end of this one, the St. M's were the ones who walk out on top with the victory. Goals scored by Anthony Catallo and Will Bent, assisted by Matt Crayer, Jamie Glantz, and then Chance Adams in this one. Thank you all for tuning in to the U14 matchup. We'll be back in just a half an hour for the next one at 12 p.m. as the U16 team will take the ice right here from Adelard Arena at Mount St. Charles Academy in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. I'm Chris Hitu and Alden Duras. We hope to see you in the next one and the one following right here on Fans Only Sports Network. But if not, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll catch you all next time.